Hey everybody, today seemed like a pretty good day to ride the boat. This is actually inside my neighborhood, which is on the west side of West Lake Toho. There are internal lakes that back up to most of the houses in the area that are connected under these bridges. And then there is a boat lift at the end that lifts your boat out of this lake down to the level of Lake Toho, which is 2 or 3 feet lower than the water level inside the lake. The boat lift is straight ahead there. This is after the boat lift in the canal that heads out to Lake Toho. I'm running the video at double speed just so it doesn't take so long to view it. This is all a no wake zone, so the speed was kept 6 or less miles per hour based on GPS speed at least. And this goes back out into the main lake. As I've mentioned before, Lake Toho, the deepest part is only about 12 feet deep, and the water level is maybe a foot higher than typical, which is 53 feet above sea level. More and more hydrilla has been taking over the lake, and this is bad for boating, but apparently good for fish to a point. This is one of the main bass fishing lakes in the south, and this is a neighborhood on a cove with a small island in the middle of the cove full of wildlife. There are a bunch of turtles on these logs and one juvenile alligator on the last log. If you watch closely, you can see him. I don't know what these white birds are, but there's always plenty of them on this little island. This is the only alligator I saw today, except for a fairly large alligator near the boat lift that of course ducked underwater as soon as I got anywhere close, so I couldn't film him. This is a fairly old neighborhood on the St. Cloud side of the lake, on the northeast edge of Lake Toho, but plenty of wildlife in the area, and it's not uncommon to see alligators on people's floating docks, though I did not see any today. After exiting that neighborhood, I went into the mouth of Shingle Creek. The mouth of the creek is fairly shallow, and I've actually gotten stuck here before when the water level was lower. But since the water was about a foot deeper, I was able to lift the motor a little bit and get on through. Actually, parts of the creek are as deep as 10 or 12 feet, but most of it is closer to 5 or 6 feet. Again, remember I'm running this at double speed, as this is also a no-wake zone. But it shows some of old Savage, Florida. This is the main source of water for Lake Toho, and the Shingle Creek is the beginning or headwaters of the Florida Everglades down in South Florida. So this is near the end of Shingle Creek as it opens into Lake Toho, which eventually opens into a canal connecting to Lake Cypress, then another canal, then Lake Hatchineah, then another canal in Lake Kissimmee, and then other canals until you eventually get down to Lake Okeechobee in South Florida. You see a fair number of people fishing on this creek, but I've always been surprised that I've not managed to see even a single alligator in this creek. Maybe they don't like being enclosed, or maybe they're just hiding from me so that I don't see them even though they might see me. It's not unusual to see teenagers actually swimming in this water, which is not something I would generally recommend. But there are a few trees down the way that hang over the creek that people can hike to and swing on ropes and so forth and land into the water. The water looks like strong southern sweet tea because of high levels of tannic acid, which is a breakdown product of the cypress wood from these cypress trees that you can always see in the water. It looks like great fishing water, and occasionally you see them striking things on the surface. They're not terribly active today. I only saw a few fishermen on this passage. I took the creek up almost to the level of where it crosses under John Young Parkway. It is navigable after that to a point, but eventually gets too small and overgrown for a boat the size of my boat to get through.
It looks like bass water, I don't know.
These are the fishermen. They say indeed there were some bass in the area. There's another boat lift up here. It is at the back of the Oaks neighborhood, which includes a golf course, which I've played a couple of times. Not always in the best shape, but good enough for somebody who plays as poorly as I do. This is off of John Young Parkway, not too far from the approach enter runway 33 at Kissimmee Airport. Shingle Creek extends all the way up to Highway 528 and maybe a little beyond. It runs through the Hunters Creek area as well as much of Kissimmee. I've posted some other videos farther upstream. Today I took the boat as close to John Young Parkway as I could go, and it is probably navigable beyond that for another mile or two, but then gets overgrown. And since I was alone today, I didn't want to get trapped somewhere in the middle of nowhere and have to call somebody to pull me out, so I turned around when I got close to the highway, since the highway sounds don't add a lot to the video. This is a pretty good area for kayaking, and occasionally you see people out here renting kayaks in the summertime. Again, remember, I'm doing this playback at double time speed. I wasn't riding the boat this quickly. For one thing, you have to anticipate these curves and underwater hazards such as fallen trees. And for another, there were signs posted, especially near people's docks, warning about no wake zone, etc. As always, if you enjoy videos like this, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video with others that might not know about this Shingle Creek area. Great for a boat ride, less than the boring wide open water of the main lake. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. Until next time, see you somewhere else in Florida, probably.